So I wanted to ask, like, just to get some history on when you got started, like, with the adult industry and how you got into it and everything like that.
Like, basically, I mean, I actually was really insecure about my body for most of my life, up until I was like 30.
Okay.
Like, even my last long-term relationship was in my late 20s. I didn't even like being naked with like my boyfriend at the time.
Okay.
But then basically I hit a little rock bottom after our breakup. And I was kind of like, with everything, I was just like, I'm like sick of being unhappy in a lot of other ways, but we don't need to get into that.
Okay.
And part of it was just like, I'm sick of like hating myself, like physically. And I started just kind of like posting a little bit more revealing stuff, just like on Instagram. And it got good response. Yeah. And then people started, asking for content outside of that. And so it originally started, I would just sell like a bundle of pictures. Back then I was traveling, working festivals, and I'd be like, oh, like, I'll send you some pictures for a tank of gas, which at that time was $30.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And this is in like 2017. This is like not like, which is, I guess, 7 years ago now, which is crazy.
I know.
Jesus. But it just started like that. And I didn't want to people were like, do an OnlyFans. And I was like, no, I don't want to. Like, I don't want them to take a cut of my money. And I didn't feel like I could do it very consistently.
Yeah.
Beginning of like end of 2019 or beginning of 2020, I finally like made an OnlyFans. And at that point, like first day I had like 100 subscribers because I'd built up so many people just followed my Instagram for that. And, I started, then pandemic hit and I built up my Twitter for OnlyFans and I made separate Instagram profiles for like Thick Lizzy persona. And I was getting shared on some Instagram pages for like motorcycle stuff. And it just it like blew up really quickly. And then I got approached to do my first pro scene within 6 months of starting my OnlyFans.
Okay, and who was that with?
Pure BBW out here.
Okay, yeah.
And he was I was like, I'm scared. And he was like, why? You're already fucking on camera for money. And I was like,
good point.
All right, well.
Touche.
Yeah. I have since learned he can be fairly pushy. But at the time, I actually I appreciated it and needed it.
Yeah.
And those first scenes went really well and they did really well. I think and just went from there and then started Plumper Pass and then started doing collabs and it all just like snowball.
Kind of mushrooms, yeah.
I didn't plan it. People were like, how'd you get into it? And I was like, I don't know. It just happened.
Well, and it's a nice story now, though, because it seems like a lot of people get involved under their own desire. Yeah. Like, you don't have the stories of, oh, somebody approached me and said, hey, I can, that kind of old story that you would hear about the porn industry of, like, managers and agents approaching and stuff like that. So you don't have that as much now where it's more like you can see on your own. And you started doing stuff just kind of as it sounds like it was
like for myself. It was like I was building up confidence in myself and, making gas money so I could travel, which was also something for myself. And like, because traveling helped me get out of like the rut, the very like not great place I was in. And like it all just kind of fed off each other.
Yeah.
And through it, I met like a friend of mine who does like a motorcycle YouTube channel was someone that I like met through it. And I would go on his channel and I would just sit on the back of a motorcycle and
just bounce around.
Yeah, we'd go in slow motion. He'd hit bumps on purpose, and we wouldn't mention that I did porn or anything. We would just like my Instagram. And just people can figure it out for themselves. Kind of thing.
And huge boobs are always a great seller.
Yeah,
I mean, on anything.
It's definitely like I feel like because of what a pain in the ass they are on a daily basis. They deserve to pay for themselves.
Oh, I'm saying they're pulling their weight at least.
Yeah,
like literally.
Literally. Because this is no joke. Like, the amount of sweat that's under here.
I know. And we'll get to that when we get to the
and I'm like, I have to pay for my future like chiropractor bills,
or acupuncture or whatever that you need to do.
Yeah, I do. I have to do a lot of stretching,
And that, because, natural boobs are, I think, more, you going to be a lot heavier than enhanced ones because they're not as much weight.
Does fat weigh more than implants?
I think so. Yeah, just because
we need an experiment.
Yeah, right. Well, I had.
Can we call someone in?
Because when I had Marilyn Mason on the show, she was talking about.
I've held her boobs before. Yeah. I'm aware of.
She was like, she's always wanted to weigh hers to see, but how do you do it? What kind of scale do you use?
I can tell you, because Erica Love, who you were probably familiar with.
I'm familiar with her, yes.
I think she asked like an actual scientist, a boob scientist. No, like an actual scientist about it.
Yes.
People ask about it a lot, and water displacement is supposed to be the most accurate way to weigh them.
Okay.
And she did a whole thing. I don't remember what she said the weight was, but that supposedly is the best way to weigh a boob.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know. The more you know.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get some like water, some a kiddie pool
a
big
old tank or something to put in there.
Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, it's so funny because when I'm like home alone, I literally will just like sit like this. Like,
nice.
T-Rex arms.
Yeah,
but
right?
like they are heavy because I can hold many things under there.
Not yet. So like yeah, right. No, it's fine. But yeah, we'll come back to that. But with going back to the modeling though, so like, was it something that you were kind of like? So I assume you enjoy making content for the most part.
Yeah, I have a great time. I still get nervous about it. I mean, because I think there's always that part, and I've actually talked to a lot of other models about this. I think a lot of us, there's a little imposter syndrome going on in there.
Possibly.
But at the same time, it's very fun. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel confident. I think it's so freeing. I grew up in a very like sexually open household. There was never any shame or any of that around sex.
All right.
So I've never had that like hold back. Like nudity and sex was never shameful in my house.
Yeah.
I was just ashamed of like my body at the time.
So doing this wasn't a response to being, say, held back.
No,
when
it's
you were
not like I grew
smart.
up in this like strict household and I had to like break free. No, I like broke free of my own.
The mental
bullshit.
Yeah, the stuff when you look at yourself and you think to yourself, man, who wants to see me doing stuff? And
yeah, but like my parents were very, like we all walked around naked at our house. Not like everywhere, but like if you were changing clothes, it's not like you'd go hide.
Yeah. You wouldn't run away.
We weren't like chilling in the living room naked, but like.
No. But there wasn't you weren't like a nudist family.
But I've never felt like, so I enjoy this community where it's like, I don't know, I always think sex is, obviously it can be that deep, but it doesn't always have to be that deep. I definitely think casual sex is fine as long as people are like safe and open with their intentions and honest about it. Like I think it's great, and so I enjoy making content. I enjoy sharing that content with other people. Like it's just
Do you have a favorite thing about sex work that you've noticed?
I feel like it's allowed me just a lot of freedom in every way. I've met a lot of great people. I've been able to travel, like being able to plan a cross-country road trip at the last minute and be able to pick up shoots along the way. And how many people, like I stayed at Finney's Playhouse the other night. And then I saw friends over for game night that I'll know through the content world. And like, it's really nice that there's like a sense of community all over the world, really.
Yeah, you can pretty much go anywhere and find somebody.
Yeah, and that's been really cool. I like that. And I've had a lot of people who have, sent me messages that were like, your content and whatever got me through some really dark times. And like, for me, I chat with my fans, and I have a lot of fans who kind of know me through real life stuff, or they know me through like my buddy's YouTube channel or from like the music industry that I've always kind of been a part of. Yeah. So I feel like I have like a very kind of a more personal relationship with a lot of my supporters than maybe some people do. But I feel like it feels like I just have this like really big support system. Yeah. And I feel like then I give something back to it. Just feels like this big, like mutually beneficial relationship with like me and my fans. And it's just a cool feeling.
Yeah.